Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be presenting to you a continuation of perhaps the reason why Charlie Kirk was killed, or was he killed? That's also a questionable thing. We will be connecting few dots here as far as the revival of the Zionism, not just in the United States, but also in Europe. And with this being said, someone has emailed this to me. However, I came across this a while back, and for some reason I didn't bring this to your attention, even though I am aware some of you know about this, that so-called European Jewish Parliament was quietly established in Europe in February 2012. So we're going to go to it, but very interesting videos I have prepared for you. I hope you will watch all the way to the end, because the Charlie Kirk video that someone has sent me as well highlights very interesting aspects of that psychological Psyop operation. So before we go there, as always, thank you very much for your support, everyone. Thank you so much for your donations. From yesterday, from John, and if I mispronounce your name, from Micha or Misha. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, guys, and for all your comments. I'm sure that not many people are agreeing with what I'm saying, but that's okay with me, because there is no crowd on the leading edge. So before we go to those videos, I just want to play something for you that will also present a picture of how things really are behind the scenes. So there you have it, everyone. We already know the bigger plan is for Europe to be destroyed, and Islam will be used to do it, but all roads lead to the same. And you know, Rome, some say British Empire, but I will say this: even if they lead to British Empire and if they lead to Rome, it still goes to the same spot, the same bloodline. So let's start with Ursula the Witch, because we're going to address it today in a very, very detailed but easy to understand way. So let's start with Ursula the Witch. Ursula von der Leyen, if you don't know who I'm talking about.
Europe is the values of the Talmud. The Jewish sense of personal responsibility, of justice, and of solidarity. Europe is the values of the Talmud. The Jewish sense of personal responsibility, of justice, and of solidarity.
So that's why they like this word solidarity. And we had that movement in Poland as well, as you know. Side note, today on November 11th, Poland is celebrating the Independence Day. Are we really independent? You know, I will address it tomorrow, and I will be showing you the marches and the flags and some history about some people who are not so good. But of course, now they are portrayed as the heroes. But we're going to save it for tomorrow. I don't want to put too many things in this video. So since Ursula the Witch said that Europe has the value of Talmud, that is Jewish values of solidarity and justice, let me take you to this video, what took place in 2012 that many people don't know about.
The European Jewish Parliament is a new pan-European Jewish body who was inaugurated last week at the European Parliament in Brussels, and it gathers 120 European Jewish parliamentarians across approximately 50 countries. And the people were elected by Jewish community in Europe. So more than 400,000 people voted to elect their own representative. And the number of parliament depends on the importance of the Jewish community. For instance, in France you have 9 or 10 members, and in other countries where the Jewish community is smaller, you have 1 member.
Now, what is the role of this this gathering, this parliament?
Well, it's very broad, you know. Among them, it's to promote the Jewish value, and it's to take care about the concern of the Jewish community in Europe. For instance, anti-Semitism or the delegitimization, the growing delegitimization of Israel in Europe. And to remind to our fellow citizens in Europe that Europe was constructed on Judeo-Christian tradition and values. It was founded in Jerusalem, in Rome, and in Athens, and so we are totally part of the European history, and we have to remind it and to keep our place in the society.
Now, you're here at the gathering of the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations. How do you compare between your challenges in Europe and the challenges that you're hearing here at this conference of the American Jews?
Well, they are probably the same, but at different level. Thanks God, in US they don't face the problem at the same intensity. When I speak about anti-Semitism, mainly in Western Europe, we saw the increase, the surge of anti-Semitism from this last decade. Starting the Second Intifada, we had an importation of the conflict a few days later in the street of Brussels, Berlin, Paris, London, and so. But we have the same focus, we have the same concern, and Conference of Presidents is also dedicated to promote Jewish values, and to strengthen the relation between the different Jewish organizations, and that's also one of our concern, and one of our objectives is to extend our hands to different European Jewish bodies, or European or local, and to work together to promote the Jewish interest in Europe.
Now, anti-Semitism today, as opposed to what we saw before the Holocaust, now today we're talking mainly about Muslim anti-Semitism?
Yeah, mainly, absolutely. It's, as I said, it's importation of the Israeli-Arab conflict in the street of Europe. So when you see a synagogue which is attacked, or Jewish people wearing a kippah or the Magen David at the neck attacking the street, it's mainly the factor of European Muslim people, but not all of them, thanks God, are anti-Semite, and we would like to work also with members of the Muslim communities to fight against this plague, because anti-Semitism is not a Jewish issue. It's today a European issue. We are speaking about the very basic values of European democracy. So we have to fight all together against this plague.
But how about the trauma of the Holocaust? That doesn't help against anti-Semitism? That doesn't maybe make the authorities a bit more careful when they see anti-Semitism?
It's more complex than that. Yes, when you are a skinhead and making the Nazi salute, yes. But when you are coming from North Africa, people not always make the link. And if you want to enter this discussion, we have to speak about 2 European guilt: the guilt of the Shoah and the guilt of colonialism. So you see, the victims of anti-Semitism are the son and grandson of the victim of the Shoah. And in most of cases, the people who are responsible of these anti-Semitic attacks are the son and the grandson of the victim of colonialism. So it's more difficult than that.
Yes, I'm sure it's much more difficult than that, and it's a plague. It's absolutely a plague. Those who don't agree with this person, they are a plague. So, how do they fight this? Let me take you to a very interesting summary, and this is also talking about the topic of those churches in the United States that some of you who are watching Candace Owens, and I know not all of you are agreeing with what she's saying, but it's interesting because she brings a lot of different sides to the story. However, there are some things that I would say would require a little bit more focus. For example, like Charlie's wife, but that's just my side note. Anyway, let me take you to this video because lately Candace is talking about those priests. A lot of those priests that are in the Turning Point USA Faith. That's like a additional department or creation for Turning Point, very important one, and they come from some military backgrounds. A lot of them actually have fathers, grandfathers who served in the military. So this is another interesting point, but this video will present to you, kind of connecting with what Candace Owens is talking about. How does this really, what purpose does it serve? What is the bigger picture here, as far as United States go and as far as Europe goes, of this revival of the Zionism? So let's take a look and listen at this video.
Paying attention. Across France and the UK, evangelical churches are suddenly multiplying. Not slowly, not locally, but fast, funded, organized and imported. Media calls it a revival, but the numbers, the timing and the funders tell a different story. In France, a US non-profit called Impact France now moves around €2 million a year into new church plants, and on the same platform promotes Israel trips, Jewish Roots Ministries, and Holy Land youth programs. Headlines repeat the same statistic: one new evangelical church every 10 days. But no one asks who is paying for them and why they intensified after 2023. In the UK, the machine is bigger. Trusts like Benefact, Garfield Weston, Laying, and Joseph Rank fund church plants through networks linked to Holy Trinity Brompton. These aren't tiny chapels. They're fully staffed, live-stream ready, youth-focused revival hubs, launched with budgets most political movements can't match. And around them sit the same Christian Zionist advocacy networks, Corfi UK, ICEJ, Prophecy Tour Ministries, waiting to plug into the congregations once the groundwork is done. This model already has a precedent: the United States. There, evangelicals did not become pro-Israel because of debate. They became pro-Israel because church infrastructure was built first and identity followed. Christian Zionism was not born, it was built. The blueprint for what is now unfolding in Europe was already tested, perfected, and weaponized in the United States. In the 1970s, evangelical Christianity in America was politically scattered, inward-looking, fragmented by doctrine and region. By the early 2000s, it had become the most disciplined foreign policy voting bloc in the country, capable of delivering presidents, shaping party platforms, and demanding unconditional support for Israel as a non-negotiable article of faith. That transformation did not happen through debate. It happened through infrastructure, televangelism networks, prophecy conferences, Israel tourism, Bible colleges, youth revival circuits, and the rapid expansion of megachurches built with donor money, not local tithes. You do not have to lobby a person to support Israel once they have been raised to believe Israel is part of their own salvation story.
Still, evangelicals are becoming more visible in public life. Remember the Knesset? They have a pastoral service in parliament and they keep very close ties with elected officials.
Is now expanding in France, especially among young people, like Carla, who shares her faith with her 300,000 followers on TikTok.
That's how I first got into posting content on social media.
Something is happening in Europe. and almost no one is paying attention.
So it was a very interesting video. I hope you were watching that with me as well. That's how they do it. So we should not be surprised that there has been a so-called European Jewish parliament already elected in Europe in secret in 2012, and that leaders in most of the countries, of course not all the countries, but majority of them, come from a certain viewpoint. Those who are different, like those in Africa, they are being killed, destroyed. And it's not, of course, only Africa, but there are not too many that are out of this system. Russia is no different as well. And if you tell me this, then stay with your opinion. I already woke up to the truth. So as far as this Christian Zionist revival goes, this will explain why that movement of the Turning Point USA was so focused lately on Turning Point USA faith, because the impact it has on the youth, it's very, very big. And that's why Erica Kirk, as you know, is fully on board with this. And I will take you to a video that is created by someone who I'm not familiar with, but someone of you sent it to me, and I receive a lot of emails or DMs from you. Some of them I just don't open because I've seen already certain videos. This one I haven't yet, so thank you for that. Very interesting take on Charlie's Kirk death, or maybe no death, or rather death, and what was the reason for it. So we're kind of connecting the dots with this revival of Zionism. Let's take a listen to this young lady. Very, very interesting take on that psychological operation of Charlie's Kirk removal.
Real reason that they killed Charlie Kirk. All of these conspiracies. It was a Freemason ritual. It was a hologram. Turning Point USA killed him. Charlie Kirk hid underneath a trapdoor until the hologram was shot, and then they carried him out. No blood on the concrete means that he was never shot. This was all one big psyop to push a Christian Zionist movement in the United States. Tyler Robinson was framed so the right would hate the left, but he's pleading not guilty, and they're not going to allow any cameras in the courtroom. They want us to blame Israel so they can increase anti-Semitism laws and eventually take our guns away. Qatar and Muslims did this, according to Bibi Netanyahu. Erica Kirk was in on it, and now she runs Turning Point and owns MAGA, and they'll believe anything that she says, even if she's wearing leather pants. No autopsy, no death certificate, no burial location means he never died. They killed the character, not the actor. That's because nobody died here. Instead, they birthed a movement, because that's what psychological operations do. Let's talk about the real reason that they killed.
So interesting take on. I wonder, what do you think about this, what she just said? But maybe in the picture that she has painted, I will end this video the way how I started, because that's really what's up, everyone. And on that note, I will end my video here. Thank you so much for watching. You'll find the links down below in the description box. Just scroll down under the video. If you appreciate the content, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, free of charge. Leave the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, your opinion. And articles, of course, you find there as well. If you choose to support my work, the best way is to become my Patreon supporter. or to donate on PayPal or become local supporter. And if you have Instagram, please follow me there. It's AniaK_44. With this being said, guys, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in the next video. Bye, guys.